travel. I could see if my dreams come true for next year. Maybe you can. Maybe I can. But let's not tell anyone, because I don't think the physicists would like it. Something to do with Schrodinger's cat. I certainly would like some advice from the future, though. Okay, shall I get a dog? It could be a good time, but then again, I'd have to leave it alone so much. I have lots of travel planned next year. No you don't. Try again. Okay, I'm going to organise a huge party for my birthday celebrations. I will invite everyone I know from far and wide. Sorry, you can't do that. No one will come. What? Oh, that's a shame. I thought I still had some friends. Could I drive the length of the UK, perhaps? No. Well, can I make my own bread then? Well, you'll be lucky if you can get the flour. Crikey, the world sounds like it will be a very different place. Well, it sounds horrid. Well, it certainly won't be easy. There will be lots of sadness and worry, but in 2020 there will be less pollution. You will hear the birds singing more loudly, and you're also going to see the people of our community step up beyond what they've ever done before, showing more kindness, greater compassion than you could ever have imagined. Okay, I think I can do this. I might need help though.
Good morning. It's the third Sunday in the month, which means we're having our shift session at 9 a.m. The next one will be the first Sunday in May with a new theme, so watch this space. Let's just take a moment to say hi, give us a heart or a like or a comment, see who else is watching so that we can be together in this time. We know that we're living in tragic circumstances with no shortage of bad news. But somewhere in the midst of it all, the very good news is the way that this pandemic has brought out the best in so many people across the globe. So this morning we wanted to bring you some good news and to inspire you with some of the people in our village who are showing compassion in the Covid-19 crisis in their own ways. And so I have done not one but two interviews this week. The first interview is with three fit, fast and friendly young brothers in our village who have decided to do their own fundraising challenge for a charity in Bramhope. It's called OPAL, or Old People's Action in the Locality. The second interview is with Robert and Susan Saville, a lovely couple in our community who are members at Salem United Reformed Church. Susan is a midwife and well known for her kindness and compassion, and Robert, along with Becky Berry from St Mary's Parish Church and others around the village, has worked during this time to set up the Burley Community Action Response. They have used Facebook and other forums to connect local people who want to help with local people who need help. And so sit back, put your feet up, sip your coffee and be inspired. We are so excited to hear about the project that you are doing for charity. How are you boys today?
Good, yeah.
What is this challenge all about?
So we're running, walking and cycling the distance of the Tour de Yorkshire, which is 305 miles. And we have raised £297, including gift aid.
Wow, that is a tremendous achievement. Well done. That's fantastic.
How far have you done so far in total?
53 miles.
53 miles already? And how many days have you been doing it for?
4 days.
Wow, that is fantastic. Well done, boys. I'm super impressed.
We were wondering, what inspired you guys to do this?
Well, all the older people that are struggling these times and can't get food from the shops because about the corona, it inspired me to just help them out and raise money for my mum's charity. And my mum's charity is delivering food to old people that can't get it, and hot meals as well.
Can I ask, what is your favorite of the different things you're doing? Is it riding or running? What is your favorite thing to do?
Cycling.
Yeah,
probably.
cycling.
All three of you like cycling?
Yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant. Well done, boys. Keep up the good work. We hope to see maybe past you one day going on your rides and on your walks, and we hope that you raise a whole lot of money. Thank you, boys, for showing compassion in this way. That was an excellent idea, and good luck with getting it done. Hi, Robert and Susan. It's really good to have you here. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. How are you today?
Yeah, really good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, feeling
Good. Good, thank you. Robert, let's start with you. You have been working together with some others in the village to put together this community action response during this time. Would you like to tell me about what inspired you to do that?
Yeah, so as part of Love Burley, which has been going now for 4 years, Love Burley, for those that don't know, is an organisation that supports the kind of senior plus, let's say, rather than any other term in the village. And we run quarterly events for them, which is, food, entertainment, but mainly companionship. And we've got to know a lot of the older residents in the village through that. So when coronavirus or Covid-19 started hitting the UK, a few of the team had been chatting about it and thinking about what we could do and how we could put things into effect that could help. And what we did is we decided we would communicate with those that we knew, and we would ask them if they needed help, and we'd tell them what help was available. At the same time, we set up the Facebook group, which was the Burley Community Action Response. And we were asking at that point for volunteers. We were asked to email or give them copies of letters. And in the end, I think we had something like 250, 300 letters going out to elderly residents. We had a mass of volunteers coming in within minutes rather than days, which was great. And then through that weekend, the weekend was quite a busy one, through the weekend and the following week, and then up till now, we've had lots and lots of people asking for help, and we've just buddied them up with volunteers.
Brilliant, thank you. Now, the people that are volunteering, can you tell us a little bit more about what sort of things they're doing? How are people in our village helping each other?
Oh goodness, numerous, absolutely numerous. So the initial flurry was for those that were isolating and couldn't get shopping. So the bulk of the early requests were, I need help with shopping, which was great. That's still the trend to today. But we then started getting lots of other requests. So we got requests for picking up prescriptions. We got requests for a few coming in the early days for people that just wanted companionship over the phone. They just wanted somebody to chat to. And then the requests started getting a little bit more varied. So we started working with the Ilkley and Otley and Keighley food banks. So at the time, the food bank was situated in the library. The library was due to close imminently. So there was a big rush to get it out of there. And we worked with a co-op and we sited it in the co-op. And then Lizzie from St Mary's started working with the food banks to figure out, do we implement one of our own in Burley, or do we partner up in it? We're sensible to partner up, so that's going really well. We have deliveries to the food banks from Burley 2-3 times a week sometimes. The other thing that kind of came out of it was that we built relationships with a lot of other community groups. So It started with Shipley Council, so the ward officers were getting requests from people that lived in Burley and hearing about what we were doing. We got phone calls from local councillors, from our MP, from the Good Neighbours teams in Ilkley and Burley. We started forming a really good network of contacts where, for example, we've had a case of somebody in Ilkley that needed to get a letter to the doctors in Burley. So we got a volunteer to deliver that. But at the same sort of time, we started building a really good relationship with the parish council and the community trust. So it was at that point where all of the houses in Burley, 3,200 I think, got a letter which was a joint parish council Love Burley leaflet, and we ended up supporting anybody and everybody from families to just about anybody in the village. We had all sorts of different requests coming in.
And thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking that inspiration and moving forward and helping so many people.
Oh, it was a team effort, as I keep saying. You know, I might have been the gobby guy that started it all off, but it really has been an amazing team effort from everybody.
Robert, you yourself have been self-isolating for most or all of this time. I wonder if you can tell us a bit about what that's been like for you, and whether maybe there've been some helping hands in your direction as well.
Yeah, so I've been in self-isolating now for 3 weeks and 2 days. I'm counting, because I'm one of the severe risk people, shielded and all that. So I think the big benefit so far is Susan hasn't managed to kill me and dispose of the body just yet. So the support-wise, it's been really good. The village shops, first of all, that really stepped up. So Waste Not, the deli, the Flower Academy, the butchers, all started doing delivery. So that was great. We're getting the essentials through there. It's been lovely. There's been some volunteers. One of our neighbours that's just sort of said, you know, do you need anything? And they brought in things that you can't order online, you know, sort of bits and bobs, like, you know, sort of more treat things, I guess, than anything.
Good, thank you for that. Robert, some people in our village might be watching this today and they might like to know what they could do to help. What do people do if they want to get involved, if they're not yet involved and would like to join this community action response?
So if people watching Shift, pray, definitely pray. We really need to surround the whole village in prayer. And I'm really, well, I mean, going off at a slight tangent, I'm really seeing God at work in what we're doing. There's so many things that some people put down to coincidence, but I don't. I mean, it's really obvious God's at work. Anything from, you know, a resident would ring up and ask for support, and within an hour we'd have a volunteer ringing up to offer support, which happened to be pretty much an exact match for what that resident needed. We've had other situations where one lady bumped into an older gent who was a bit confused, took his name, hold of me and said, do you know about this guy? You know, I'm going to keep in touch with him. That same day, I think it was in a couple of hours, through a really convoluted route, his sister, who lives hundreds of miles away, got my number, gave me her brother's name and said, you know, I'm really worried about him. And it was like, oh, and it was just like, wow, this is just amazing. There's been so many like that. So definitely prayer. If it was more a practical thing, then volunteer. If you're not on the volunteer list, then you can get me. My details are all over the place. I'm sure everybody in Burley has got my phone number by this stage. So let me know. Don't get too disappointed if you don't get a request to help straight away, because we've got 70 households with anything from 1 to 5 people in it that we're already supporting, but we've got 184 volunteers at the last count. So obviously we've got many more volunteers than people who have asked for help.
Thank you, Robert. The numbers you give and the amounts of people who have already stepped up to help is just such a testament of human capacity for compassion, and really is inspiring. And to those of you watching who are volunteering, thank you. Susan, speaking of compassion, you are a midwife, and compassion is a part of your daily life every day. It's a part of your work. It's a part of who you are. Is there anything you would like to add to what Robert has said about the need for compassion and care in times like these?
Yes, well, I think any health professional, so nurses, doctors, midwives, healthcare support workers, and the wider number of key workers that are out there, generally they're doing that job because they have compassion for others, and they've got a real desire to help people, and now more than ever in these unprecedented times where people are so fearful and just absolutely full of fear, it's never been more important to show compassion to others, and to see past the fear, because the fear can make us do so many things that are perhaps not helpful. I think about the toilet roll scenario a lot of the time and think, yes, we moaned about people, storing toilet rolls and other things. But if you look past the annoyance and look at why were people doing this, because they were frightened, and I think sometimes if you turn it on its head and see maybe why people are acting the way they are at the moment, you can develop more of a compassion for them.
Yeah, thank you. That brings a lot of perspective. As a midwife, I think you in many ways deal with people who may sometimes be feeling afraid at the task that they face, but you help people to work through their fears and really to bring life from that place. When we come across people who are acting out of fear, I'm wondering what sort of kindness, what sort of actions help people to find a sense of calm?
I think listening to people's fears, just having a listening ear and being willing to spend time listening to people, because there are so many fears around at the moment, and often people will in this country, certainly, if you say, how are you, the stock answer is, I'm fine, how are you? Whereas if you can dig that little bit deeper, and if you get that stock answer, go a little bit deeper and say, how are you really? Tell me how you're doing, or just try and get them to talk to you. Generally, people just, if you listen, if you give them time and listen to their fears without necessarily giving them any answers, because there aren't any answers a lot of the time, but just being there to listen and being there to maybe signpost to other people that might be able to help them.
Yeah, thank you for that. I have noticed you have a real passion for self-care and for having compassion on yourself. And in these times, I think it's really important that we all begin to show kindness, not only to people out there, but also that we're kind to ourselves. Can you talk us through what does that look like? What does good self-care look like in a time like this?
Okay, well, my real passion is self-care for other midwives, because I'm a midwife myself. And my interest has kind of moved on from not just midwives, but new mums with new babies. And at the moment, it's never been more important to focus on self-care. And so things that we talk about in self-care for midwives, which is applicable really to all of us now, as the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's a bit like when you're on an airplane and when the staff are telling you about the oxygen masks. If the oxygen mask comes down, you must fit your own mask first before you fit it onto anybody that you're looking after, children there. And I used to think this was a strange thing. I used to think, how can I do that? Put my own mask on myself before I put it on my children. And then I thought, well, if I can't breathe and I become unconscious, then my children have no chance because I can't help them. And it's exactly the same with self-care. So it's just finding times in your day, in the 24 hours that we're given every day, to look at how you can fill your own cup, how you can perhaps take the focus away from the fear and concentrate on something that will really nourish your mind or your body or your spirit. And so there's all sorts of different techniques that we talk about. We talk about spending time in nature, so using your allocated exercise time to go out and actually, rather than just go out and walk around the block and come home, actually go out and notice the sky, what the colour is, notice the bird, notice any wildlife or greenery around you, and really take it in. Taking exercise, so ensuring that you take a bit of exercise every day to nourish your physical body. Spending time away from the negativity, so switching off the news if you're finding it's affecting your mental health. Obviously we need to know what's going on, but not to become engrossed in it. Perhaps building up a bedtime routine where you don't look at social media for a couple of hours before bed. Start reading a book at night time to help you sleeping. There's just a whole host of things. You can talk about meditation, talk about prayer. My own personal self-care, a little bit of yoga in the mornings, and it really makes a big difference to my day when I've spent that little bit of time on myself.
I wonder whether either of you have anything else on your mind, anything else that you'd like to share, or some closing words about compassion in these times.
The key that stands out for me, and I say it time and time again, is just the amazing community that we've got, and the kind of the way everybody is now, almost selflessly looking out for everybody else. So everybody is just really stepping up and actively looking for how they can help. So it's become a very selfless world, really, where people have got their own problems, but they're actively looking for something that they can do to help others.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for inspiring us, both of you, to care for others and to care for ourselves as well. And keep up the good work. You are a blessing to our community.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So there you have it. To help the boys out on their mission, you can visit their fundraising site below. To help the community action response, you can get in touch with Robert via their Facebook page. And you can also join Susan's Facebook page on self-care for midwives if you want to. This is the kind of situation where everyone, whether in royalty or government, whether a 99-year-old veteran or a 6-year-old cyclist, where everyone realizes how small we really are in the big scheme of things, and yet somehow how significant each act of kindness can really be. And that kindness takes many forms. Like Robert said, prayer. Like Susan said, listening. And Susan also spoke about signposting people to find the help they need. Sometimes that will mean pointing people to practical assistance. But there comes a time, I believe, to point to something deeper, to point to the source of our compassion, to the tap that is filling my jug so that I can fill a jug for others. As a Christian myself, and coming out of this Easter season, my biggest wish is to be a signpost for the way that Jesus showed love to others. And Jesus, I believe, is a signpost to God and to what God is like. Not a monster, not the one making bad things happen, not aloof and uninterested and condemning, but the God that we see in Jesus. Healing bodies and feeding bellies and encouraging children and standing up against injustice. This is Jesus as the embodiment of the love of God. And so this week, I hope that you have many opportunities to show kindness to others. And also, I hope that you have many opportunities to be a recipient of compassion from others, from yourself, and from the ultimate source of compassion. I hope you have a good week, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you soon.